Welcome to Point Blank, brought to you by Fitz Roofing. I'm Brandon Stranger, Sports Map Houston. That's Joel Blank of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. If you haven't yet, please hit subscribe on the channel. We do appreciate the support. Joel, after last year, the only hope Rockets fans had was that after all that losing, that it would be worth it if they got a high draft pick and brought in difference makers with all those first round picks. This week, we saw the Rockets win their Summer League finale. And for those saying it's just Summer League, hey, these are guys fighting for places on their respective teams. So, Joel, we've seen other teams like OKC and the Warriors build juggernauts to the draft. The Rockets aren't quite there, but given the pieces that they've already acquired, is it possible we could see the Rockets eventually build something similar here in Houston with young players?
I really think so, Brandon. I was looking at the Sam Presti mold that was set in Oklahoma City when the Rockets got the first-round draft pick and stockpiled the four 19-year-olds they got this year. And the thing that Rockets fans have to take away from this is it's entirely possible they could follow that same kind of outline and keep building with this roster that already has 7 or 8 good young players. The other thing you have to keep in mind is of the 4 draft picks this year, they don't all have to be superstars in the making. They just have to be able to play their role. So therefore, we already know who Jalen Green is, and we know what the expectations are for him, and he's probably the guy that's going to have that superstar potential. The rest of the guys, what we saw is they're going to fill in and play their roles absolutely to a T, at least in Summer League. Now you hope it translates to the NBA against grown men on a nightly basis because you've got a defensive stopper. You've got a big man in the making that has great footwork and knows defensively when to stay down and when to jump and can rebound the basketball. You've got guys that can eventually make a difference. They don't all have to be superstars, but you've got the makings of a great nucleus of talent.
I want to talk about the defensive stopper. Before we do, give us a word from Fitz Roofing.
We love the people at Fitz Roofing. Look, they're dedicated to the people of Houston, and that's what you want when you're looking for someone to fix your roof or put a new roof on your business or your house. They do more than just roofing as well. They do home repairs. They do fences in the yard. But the one thing that they really do that everybody needs to be aware of is they do free, no-obligation inspections, and it costs you absolutely nothing. All you do is call 832-521-3001. They come to you. They tell you what they can do, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Have them come back, and they do fantastic work before, during, and after the sale. Fitz Roofing, making a difference one home at a time.
Joel, we've heard a lot about Umar Garuba, and we finally got to see him in action as advertised. He looks like a beast on defense. One of the comps he's drawing is Draymond Green. Do you see that?
I'm not going to go as far as Draymond Green, Brandon, but you know what I am going to do is I'm going to go to guys that really made a difference in an OKC mold. You look at a guy like Roberson, was a guy that was a defensive stopper for OKC and then eventually became a really good spot-up three-point shooter because he got wide-open looks. Before him, it was Thabo Sefolosha. Same thing. Really good on-ball defender that could be looked at to stop the other team's best wing player or guard. And then eventually he worked on it until he developed a shot where he could be a knockdown three-point shooter. That's the kind of mold that I'm looking at right now for Garuba. I think he's going to be better than that, but early, you don't want to set the bar too high. Draymond Green is a guy that I think it would be the highest ceiling for him, but I think even if he becomes a Roberson or a Sefolosha, you're on the right path for a guy like that, getting him where you got him in the draft.
How important are these cost-effective contributors when the Rockets are still carrying aging players with sizable contracts like Wall and Gordon?
I think it's really hyper important because I think that you're going to make decisions along the way when these guys get out of their rookie deals and into their first real contracts. But because of the fact you're trying to bridge a gap until you figure out what you're going to do with Christian Wood, you get rid of John Wall, and you try and find a home for Eric Gordon, the fact that these guys are going to be contributors in your rotation at an early age at a very affordable salary is absolutely of the utmost importance for this franchise because they're going to have to juggle so many high salary deals until they get to a point where they can decide who we're going to pay, who we're not, and what free agents we're going to bring in.